everyone, Old School Pokemon here. Today's video, going to be talking about the Collecticon event, which took place a few weekends back down in Orlando, Florida. For those of you who aren't aware, this event took place the last weekend in February 26th and 27th. This was the first Collecticon event of 2022. They are planning an additional 5 Collecticon events throughout 2022, and if you've never been to one of these Collecticon events, I would highly recommend it, whether that's be going as a vendor or just someone to walk around and check it out. They are an absolute blast. I had a fantastic time down in Orlando. And the event organizers, the people who run the Collecticon events, do a fantastic job of setting the events up and ensuring that they run smoothly without too many issues. So yeah, Dan and I will definitely be discussing in further detail our time down in Orlando at Collecticon in this week's podcast, but for today's video, I'm going to be focusing on the business aspect of Collecticon, talking about the vending aspect. So I went down to Orlando as a vendor, and so that's what this video is going to entail. How much I spent to get down there, how much I actually sold while I was down there, and whether or not it is worth it to attend these types of conventions as a vendor. So let's get started with this first slide right here, talking about the expenses to and from Collecticon. Now, first off, we have the tables. A few things that I want to mention here. If you are thinking about vending at one of the future Collecticon events, be sure to give the Collecticon Instagram page a follow. That's where you'll get all the kind of the latest information about the Collecticon events. And the reason why I say that is because you really want to be aware of when Collecticon starts selling the vendor tables. Tables sell out relatively quickly. For Orlando, they started selling tables either right before or right after Christmas, so December 2021. And the tables sold out within a couple weeks. I want to say by mid-January, all the tables were sold out. So if you are thinking about vending at one of these conventions, definitely pay attention to their Instagram page, check their website frequently in order to know when the vendor spots open up, because the tables, like I said, they do sell out fairly quickly. But the cost for the table, it varies depending upon how many tables you actually purchase. I had 3 tables in Orlando, and then I actually bought another table for Crystal Pokemon and Pallet Town Pokemon. The cost of the tables varies depending upon how many tables you purchase. The more tables you purchase, the cheaper the cost, but it doesn't really go down that much. So for 3 tables, me purchasing 4 tables using 3 tables cost me $581.25, which comes out to $193.75 per table. I believe one table at one of the Collecticon events cost $225, and that cost is for the entire weekend. So you do save a little bit of money by purchasing additional tables, but really there's not much of a savings there. One thing in regards to the cost of the tables at Collecticon, if you're on the fence about vending at Collecticon, $225 for the weekend can sound expensive to some people, but in my opinion, it is definitely worth the cost. I think the event organizers for Collecticon could charge a lot more for their tables and still sell out relatively quickly. The $225 cost for a table for the weekend really isn't that bad with how many people are attending these events and how much foot traffic your tables are getting at these events. So there's that. Next up, we have 5 display case rentals, so like the tabletop display cases. This is actually the first time that Collecticon has offered case rentals, which this right here is a game changer. I am so glad the event organizers for Collecticon decided to offer case rentals. When I booked my tables back in December, I was actually planning on driving down to Orlando. I live in Massachusetts, so I was planning on driving down to Orlando because I thought I was going to have to bring all of my cases, all of my inventory, so on and so forth. And I kind of ran the numbers, and it was actually a lot cheaper to drive down than it would have been for me to ship all those display cases down and then ship them back home. So that was my plan originally back in December, and then about a month before the event, they sent out an email saying that they were going to offer case rentals. So once I got that email, I reserved my display cases, booked my flight down there, and the rest is history. But yeah, so case rentals, this is something that they're going to be doing going forward. It is a fantastic idea on their part. The cases, you can easily fit 2 cases per table. Cases are $40 a piece, so in total for the 5 display cases that I rented, spent $200 on the display cases right there. And again, similar to the tables, I think the cost of renting a display case is really, really cheap, something that they could definitely increase the cost on if they wanted to. But yeah, super, super glad they do offer those case rentals. Makes it a whole lot easier for people who have to fly down to the event and really don't have the option to drive, or it's a really, really long drive. But yeah, so there's those 2. Next up, I did purchase another retractable banner. So I really didn't like the look of my initial retractable banner, so I did go ahead and purchase another one. If you guys are ever interested in purchasing a retractable banner, I used 48hourprint.com. I think they have the best pricing, and the quality of the banners are actually really, really good too. So if you're ever interested in purchasing one of those, 48hourprint.com is what I would recommend. I also purchased 2 t-shirts, basically old school Pokemon shirts with my logo, my name, stuff like that. Purchased those off of Vistaprint. So the 2 shirts and the retractable banner cost me $196.83, and then we get into the actual travel and accommodations. So my flight down to Orlando and back, plus my checked bag, plus the parking at the airport, plus the Uber trips from the airport to the hotel and the hotel back to the airport, $719.24. I really didn't think this was bad. I lucked out and got a fairly cheaply priced flight down to Orlando and back. This cost could have decreased a little bit. I never like to have layovers when I'm flying, so I always like to fly nonstop, which does add a little bit to the cost. So I could have saved a little bit of money there by having a flight with a layover somewhere, but for me, that's just a personal preference. I'd much rather just fly nonstop to wherever I'm going. But so $719.24, and then we get into the hotel. So $973.83, $243.46 per night. I did stay at the recommended hotel. There were other cheaper options within the area, but I figured the recommended hotel looked the nicest. Plus, it was right next to the convention center, so you could literally walk right over there. Was literally right across the street, which was nice. And then a lot of people were staying there as well, so it was cool to be able to hang out with everyone right there. But it was a little bit more expensive than other hotels within the area. $243.46 per night. This does include, so I had some boxes shipped down to the hotel, and when I picked the boxes up from the hotel, they charged a handling fee of $25, which thought that was a little ridiculous. Plus, when I left Orlando, flew back home, I sent one box. I mailed it at the hotel to my house, and they charged the shipping plus another handling fee, so it was like $60 to ship something back to my house, which definitely a lot cheaper if you went to the post office or FedEx, UPS, something like that. But you're definitely paying for the convenience fee there. So there's about $100 of that $973 that's just room charges for shipping stuff down to the hotel and shipping it home. But yeah, so there is kind of all the expenses that I had for the trip going down to Orlando. Now let's get into the sales and purchases over the weekend. This is actually something that I was really, really surprised by. I went down there with high expectations that I was going to sell a lot, but I really wasn't expecting to sell this much over the course of the weekend. So my Saturday day 1 sales, $6,876. Sunday day 2 sales, $5,972. Sold a little bit of everything there. I kind of tried to bring a little bit of everything. Some really low-end cards, some higher-end cards, graded cards, single cards, sealed product. Brought some of my pins down. A little bit of everything there. I would say the most popular kind of category was definitely graded cards, PSA, CGC. anywhere from that like $20 price point up to a couple $100. And then with this Collecticon event, it was, like I said, the last weekend in February. Brilliant Stars had released the Friday before this convention, so fortunately, I received one of my shipments of Brilliant Stars from one of my distributors earlier on that week, so I was able to open all of those booster boxes and kind of sell the single cards at the event, and that was another really popular seller. Sold a ton of Brilliant Stars singles at this event, which was really nice. But yeah, so a little bit of everything in terms of sales. In terms of purchases, I was kind of disappointed with the amount of purchases. I had gone down to the event expecting to kind of purchase a lot, do a lot of purchasing, but I really didn't see that many good deals at the event. For the most part, the people who were coming to the table trying to sell cards really wanted close to the retail value, and obviously being a reseller, you really can't pay that amount. So I really wasn't able to purchase too much. I did purchase a few decent collections. It was a lot of modern VMAXs, which I'll use for TCG player inventory. I purchased a few WotC Hollows that I'll use that I'll list on eBay and whatnot. And then I did also purchase some graded cards as well, which I basically purchased those, put them out in the case, and for the most part, most of them sold either later that day on Saturday or the next day on Sunday. So that was really nice, being able to buy something at the show, put it right out in the case, and having it sell that same day or next day. But yeah, so Saturday, day one purchases, $2,840, and then Sunday, I purchased one card off of Crystal Pokemon for $40, so really didn't purchase much at all on Sunday right there. But those are the sales and purchases for the weekend right there. Next up, we're going to kind of go over, give a quick rundown, an overview of the past couple slides. So adding everything together, total sales throughout the weekend, $12,848. Total expenses throughout the weekend, all the hotel costs, the flight, all that stuff, $2,671.15. Total purchases throughout the weekend, $2,880. Take the total sales, subtract the total expenses, subtract the total purchases, you're left with a total profit in quotation marks, just because it's not my actual profit. It's kind of like the net sales, because basically you have to subtract the cost of goods as well. But so yeah, that number, $7,296.85. Like I said, overall, really happy by that number. Definitely was not expecting to do that well at Collecticon, which is really nice. But next up, we're going to be talking about kind of the bottom line. Was it worth it or not? Now, this is going to vary depending upon your own type of situation, and I kind of broke this down into two categories. First off, we're going to talk about strictly business, so how much money you actually made, how many purchases you actually made, so on and so forth, and whether or not it was worth it in looking at it as a strictly business point of view. I have to say yes and no. It's probably 50-50 for me. If I was solely looking to go to Collecticon for business, to sell cards, so on and so forth, and no other reason, I would have to think about that. I might not actually go as a vendor if I'm looking at it strictly from a business perspective. And the reason behind that is because, first off, when I flew down to Orlando on Thursday afternoon, and then I flew back home from Orlando on Monday afternoon. So I was gone for 4 days right there. Plus, I shut down my eBay store Tuesday afternoon before I left. So that way I'd have Tuesday night and all day Wednesday to pack everything, price everything, so on and so forth. And then when I got home from the event, I took Monday afternoon and a good part of Tuesday kind of getting everything back to normal. So taking everything that I packed with me, putting it back into my eBay inventory, removing any items that I sold at Collecticon from my eBay store, so on and so forth. So in total, my eBay store was shut down for 7 days. I placed it in vacation mode and basically blocked anyone from purchasing anything from my eBay store. So I had my eBay store shut down for 7 days, Right now, I'm doing approximately $1,000 in sales per day on eBay, so having it shut down for 7 days, I probably missed out on between $6,000 and $7,000 worth of sales on eBay had I not gone to Collecticon. So that's where it kind of becomes tricky on whether or not it's worth it to go in my case. And then another thing that I'm going to touch on after I kind of go through this little presentation here, my eBay sales upon reopening my eBay store, so removing that vacation mode, sales have been very, very slow since I reopened my eBay store. But I'll touch on that once we finish getting through all of this. Just keep that in mind for now. Now, that's from a strictly business perspective. Now, if we look at it from a kind of a fun event, I call it a mini Pokemon vacation. Whether or not it's worth it, absolutely 100% yes. One quick note on the sales again. So it's in-person sales, purchases, trades, all that stuff are really, really nice. It's a lot better to do those types of things in person than it is online, because obviously you get to see the condition of everything right then and there, negotiate with the seller right then and there, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's a really nice aspect about in-person conventions like this. Plus, cash is always king. A lot of people paid in cash, which is always really, really nice right there for obvious reasons. I'm not going to get into those, but yeah, as you can imagine, cash sales are always nice. But yeah, so that's about the kind of like the business aspect. Outside of the whole business, buying, selling, trading, all that stuff, another really nice thing about these in-person events is the whole just talking with different collectors, meeting different people, networking, all of that stuff rolled into one. That's one of my favorite parts about going down to these in-person events, is just meeting everyone who comes to the table. Had a lot of people who said they were a fan of the YouTube channel and the podcast at Catch 'em All Collectibles, and I do. So if any of you guys are watching this video, thank you very much. It was great to meet all of you, and definitely look forward to meeting more people in the future. That, like I said, that's one of my favorite things about going to these events, is just like talking to different people, talking about their interest within Pokemon, and we're all there for this, pretty much all there for the same reason. We all like Pokemon, so it's really cool just talking to different people who come up to the table and stuff like that. But so yeah, that's another huge positive right there. And then finally, going along those same lines is just hanging out with friends. And a break from the day-to-day grind of selling on eBay, which that was something I really, really needed. But yeah, hanging out with friends, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan, Pallet Town Pokemon, Crystal Pokemon, Gem Mint Pokemon, they were all down there with me, and hung out with them a whole bunch. But then everyone else that I got to see as well that I don't normally get to see. Really, really fun. Had an absolute blast, and Catch 'em All Collectibles and myself will be doing a podcast later this week, talking more so on that aspect of Collecticon. So I won't really dwell on that too much, but that is another huge reason as to why I love going to these in-person events, is just to kind of hang out and see everyone. So for that reason, those reasons right there, it is 100% worth attending these types of conventions, either as a vendor or just someone who's walking around. But yeah, so for me personally, I really do like the idea of vending at these events. And I'm actually going to be attending a few more later this year, so I'm going to be attending 2 more. We have Charlotte in June 4th and 5th, and then we have Denver in October 15th and 16th. Those are the other 2 that I am planning on attending later this year. Like I said, I don't know if I did say it, but there's 5 more Collecticons coming up this year. Charlotte and Denver are 2 of them, and then you have Dallas, Kansas City, and Long Beach as the other 3. And then yeah, so out of the other 5 that are happening this year, I'm probably going to attend Charlotte and Denver as my other 2. So if you guys are planning on going to any of the Collecticons, specifically Charlotte and Denver, be sure to swing by the table. I'll probably have multiple tables at both of these events, but would be great to meet any of you. Now, last thing I want to do before this video gets too long is kind of go back to that point that I had talking about eBay sales upon reopening my eBay store. And for that, we're going to go to kind of the My eBay metrics page here on my eBay. So, like I said, I typically average about $1,000 in sales per day. I have this set up to view my last 31 days of eBay sales, and as you can see, we start off February 6th, $1,400 in sales, $830 in sales, $655, $1,865, $1,383, so on and so forth. You guys get the idea. If you add all of these up and then divide it by the total number of days, you come out with a rough average of about $1,000 in sales per day. Is what I usually figure. Now, come Tuesday, February 22nd, I shut down my eBay store on the 22nd. Shut it down in the afternoon. So we'll say, just to keep things simple, we'll say I shut it down around noon on the 22nd of February. And then from the 22nd through the 1st, so February 22nd through March 1st, I had my eBay store shut down. I had it in vacation mode, blocking anyone from purchasing any items. And what that does is it blocks anyone from purchasing your items, plus it hides all of your eBay listings. So if anyone checked out, or if anyone tried to view my eBay store during this whole time frame right here, the 22nd through the 1st, if anyone tried to view my eBay store, it would show that I have 0 active items. That wasn't in fact true. I did have everything still active. They were just hidden though. So when I got back home on Monday, the 28th, kind of just got back settled, and then Tuesday, March 1st, is when I actually reopened my eBay store. Again, to keep things simple, we'll call it around noon on Tuesday. So 7 days my eBay store was shut down. I reopened it noon on Tuesday. It does take a fair bit of time for eBay to recognize, okay, you reopen your eBay store, let's get all of your listings back visible within your eBay store. So that whole process does take a little bit of time. When I actually reopened my eBay store Tuesday afternoon, it took about 12 hours before all of my eBay listings were back within my eBay store. So that is why I don't have any sales for Tuesday. It's because I had like 5 items listed on eBay, then it would hop up to 10 items, and then it would just continue that process until everything got listed back within my eBay store. So Tuesday was another wash. So there is a 7-day period where I have 0 sales whatsoever. And then when I find my eBay store finally got back to normal, everything was listed on there. We're up to March 2nd, Wednesday, March 2nd, and I did $440 in sales on the 2nd. I'm going to skip the Thursday for right now, but Friday, $224, Saturday, $322, even Sunday. Sundays are usually a really, really busy day, but even Sunday, $920. So overall, really, really slow sales. I wanted to skip Thursday because Thursday looks good, but that was all one person. One person purchased about $2,500 worth of graded cards from me, so Thursday's a little bit skewed. I would say without that one sale, I probably did $400 in sales. So yeah, Thursday's a little skewed, but the whole point of this is when people ask what kind of tips I have for selling on eBay and increasing sales and all of that stuff, the biggest tip that I can give people is to be consistently listing and consistently selling product to kind of create a snowball effect. As you list more and more items on eBay, as you sell more and more on eBay, eBay is going to promote your listings more and more and more. So you kind of build a momentum, and as long as you can keep that momentum going, you're really good. But once that momentum stops, it takes some time to build that momentum up. So for example, I had that momentum during this whole time period, but when I shut my eBay store down, I wasn't listing any new product. I wasn't selling anything whatsoever for this entire week. So when I reopened my eBay store, when everything got back to normal, the eBay algorithm has to kind of reset itself and refigure itself out to promote your listings more. So first few days when I got back home and my eBay store was reopened, first few days sales were really, really slow. They are starting to pick back up somewhat. So like Saturday 300, Sunday 920, which even that sounds good, but it's kind of slow for my normal like weekend sales. But then we go Monday 1900, Tuesday right when I'm recording this video, today is Tuesday, $300. So now we're kind of back down to where we were previously. So I think it's just going to take time in order to kind of build up that momentum again. And that's something that I need to figure out for the next convention, as to what exactly I do in terms of shutting down my eBay store or leaving it open. I don't really want to leave it open because I don't want to be gone for a week and then have to come home to a mountain of orders that I need to ship out. Plus, I also bring my eBay inventory down with me to Collecticon, so I don't want to be selling something on eBay that I actually sold at Collecticon. That would just turn into a sticky situation. The buyer on eBay would be upset. So I'm not really exactly sure what I want to do. I guess the easiest thing to do would be to have my eBay store shut down for part of the week while I'm away, and then reopen it early on so that these slow sale days are while I'm still away, and then when I get back home, hopefully sales start to pick up again. But that's something I got to figure out later on. But I did want to point that out because it's definitely, it's not something that eBay like comes out and says, yes, this is what we do, but it's something that I firmly believe is the case. The more you're listing and selling on eBay, the more eBay is going to help you promote your listings and sell more cards. And I think this kind of this solidifies that point right there as to how like the eBay algorithm works. But anyway, that is all I have for today's video. I don't want to ramble on too long about that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Really do appreciate you clicking on the video and checking this out. Like I said, later on this week, Dan and I will be talking about our Collecticon experience. That should be a really fun chat. Kind of looking back at the time in Orlando. It was an absolute blast of a trip. But anyway, for today, that is all I have. Thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next one.